What's the best way to write a song? If you've ever wondered what you should do first, lyrics or music, this video is for you. Hi, I'm Trevor Dimoff, and I transform musicians into songwriters at epicsongwriting.com. So what is the best way to write a song? Here's the problem. There is no one answer. It's what works best for you. As long as you can create an interesting song that evokes emotions in your audience, and you can do it efficiently without wasting time or getting stuck, it's a good way to write a song. Now, every solid songwriter has their own songwriting process, what works for them, and they learn it by exploring and building it up and practicing. So I'm going to show you or explain to you how you can figure out your own songwriting process. To write a song, you need to have lyrics, melodies, chord progressions, arrangement, that is what notes you're going to play or what loops you'll use in your DAW, and finally you need a song structure. You have to put all your bits and pieces in order from beginning to the end. Now, what you do first, or your first step in the process, depends on you and your approach to life. So do you start with what's easiest for you? Do you start with what's hardest for you? Or do you start with what gives you the biggest wins first? I go with number 3, what gives me the biggest wins. For me, that's lyrics. I'm trained as a musician and a composer. That's where I've practiced most of my craft. That's where I've spent most of my time practicing. So for me, it's a little harder to write lyrics first. I haven't spent as much time singing and analyzing and writing lyrics as I have with music. So I also start with the biggest wins. For me, that's hardest. But I also start with the biggest wins with the lyrics. I want to know what I'm writing about and the story that I'm going to create. Once I have that, I find it easiest for me to fill in the music around the lyrics. So when it comes to this process that I'm talking about, you can think about this in 2 ways. I break things down, so I work with just the lyrics, just the chord progressions, then I add the melody, then I put the arrangement together. So I'll start with the chord progression. I'm only strumming or playing 1 chord at a time, and then I'll build out an arrangement afterwards. So I look at it separately, and then finally I'll put the song structure together once I have all my bits and pieces. I break them down one at a time so I can focus on them. When I'm writing lyrics, I can hear bits of melody, but I don't focus on that. First, I create a story. So I will do this for the entire song. You can also do this one section at a time. Whatever works for you, whatever, explore, experiment, see what happens. So when it comes to lyrics, I start with my idea. So what's my big picture story? What's the title? And from that subject or title, I brainstorm. I come up with bits and pieces, and then gradually I create a story out of that. I'll weave it together. With my story in mind, I can put ideas in my verse, ideas in my chorus, and then turn those ideas into finished lyrics. So at the first level, I'm not even thinking about what are my rhymes. That comes later for me. First, I come up with ideas, little pieces. I think of songwriting as a puzzle. So first I build my pieces, then I start putting them together to create a story. I don't start at the beginning and go to the end right away. Whenever I try that, I get blocked up pretty fast. So once I have my lyrics, ideas, then I'll sketch it. What do I want to say in my verse, my chorus, my pre-chorus if I'm going to use one? Even if I don't use it, I usually plan for it, and then my bridge. So I have my biggest wins, my big picture first before I start playing around in the details and getting lost in the bits and pieces. So from lyrics, then I go to chords. For me, I find that once I have the mood that I'm looking for, I'll pick a key that I like and I'll brainstorm ideas. What chords can I use in that key? What would fit? And then I'll play around with them. I'll get out my guitar, my piano, and play around with them and pick an order. So that would be a first chord progression. Then I'll build a chord progression for another section. Sometimes I don't even know which section that's going to be. So I'll come up with 3 or 4 chord progressions, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and bridge, and then mix and match and see what works best. From the chord progression, I'll go to melody. So I take my lyrics and I speak them first as I'm playing my chord progression. Sometimes I'll record it, sometimes I'll just play it. So I have a chord progression, I have my lyrics, and then I put the melody in from there. First I speak it, I find the rhythms, where do I want the words to be, and then I'll experiment. I'll sing and improvise. So if I start on this note, where does it want to go? Now I'll try this note further up the chord. Where does that want to go? And just play around with it. I've learned to do this intuitively, but I'm also trained as an improviser. So for me, this is pretty easy. For you, it might take a little bit longer. Once I have my lyrics and my chord progression, and my melodies, then I'll start to find an arrangement idea. So how am I going to play it? If it's going to be on guitar, just me and a guitar, what strum patterns will I use? What chord voicings will I use? So once again, I'll go to the brainstorming phase where I'll play around with it and see what comes out. Then I'll edit it. That's a good idea. That's not a good idea. That's a cool idea, but I should save that because there's more energy, so it would fit better in the chorus. So I'll mess around with it and get messy. Experiment. Make mistakes. If you don't like it, don't use it. From my lyrics, then my chord progression, then my melody, and then my arrangement, I now have an idea of how it can fit together. So I'll put it into a structure. The typical structure for most songs is verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Do it again, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Go to a bridge, and then a chorus once or twice at the end. So that's my general idea. From there, I'll fill in transitions. So if I've got a chord progression that doesn't smoothly go from the verse to the pre-chorus, I'll twist a chord or change something. So at this point, I have my entire song structure. I have my lyrics, chord progression, melody, arrangement, and song structure. Now I can play it from beginning to end. So I'll practice it. As I'm practicing it, I'll get better at it. I might find little places where it feels awkward, so I'll edit and change it, make it better. Sometimes I'll make mistakes. Mistakes are glorious at this phase because very often the mistake is actually better than the original idea. If I sing a lyric wrong, I'll think about it for a second. Is that actually a mistake or is it better? Have I accidentally found something even better? So as I'm practicing, I'm improving it, so I'm ready to make a demo. At the demo phase, it can be just with your phone, but you play it through from beginning to end and then test it. Listen to it. Does it sound good? Does it make sense? If I was to hear it for the first time, would I understand what I'm trying to say? Play it for other people. Play it live. Show them the demo that you've recorded. It could be a video or audio on your phone. The next level, if the song is ready for it, if I'm ready for it, if I think the song is worth the time to invest, I'll put it into my DAW. I'll demo it at the next level up. The level after that would be taking it to a professional studio and recording it professionally. So the best way to write a song, in my opinion, is start with the biggest wins, and then one at a time, rather than trying to do two things at once, come together with the lyrics, the melody, the chord progression, the arrangement, and the song structure. From there, take it and demo it so that you can listen to it without playing it yourself, and either phone or audio on your demo it on your phone, either your audio or video, so you can remember it for later. If the song shows a lot of promise, it goes into my DAW and I level up the recording from there. That's the best way, in my opinion, the best way to write a song. For you, it might be different. You might do it in a different order. You might combine some of the steps because it works for you. Play with it, experiment, and come up with the best way for you to write a song. I'm Trevor Dimoff, and I teach musicians to become songwriters at epicsongwriting.com. If there's anything in this video you want to learn more about, click the link below in the description. Subscribe, share this video with a friend. Until next time.